They say nobody wants to work anymore. It is a classic gripe of out-of-touch corporate executives and frustrated business owners. But when you actually look at the data, they might have a point. Labor force participation is approaching generational lows, and for men specifically, it is the lowest it has ever been. So what is really going on? Is this a generation of lazy quitters, or is the modern workplace fundamentally broken? Welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring the massive disconnect between today's workers and the jobs that no longer seem to offer a path to a real life. By the end of this episode, you will understand why the old American dream is being replaced by something much more cynical, and why a college degree might just be a ticket to more debt rather than a better career. Let's start with the numbers that are making everyone's head spin. There is a viral survey doing the rounds that asks different generations what they consider a salary for financial success. The results were shocking. Gen Z respondents claimed they need nearly $600,000 a year to feel successful. Now, you might laugh and call that delusional, most people do, but think about the world they are looking at through their screens. They see influencers flying private and hustle bros living in mansions. Meanwhile, the average boomer thinks $100,000 is plenty. But here's the catch. In major hubs like San Francisco or New York, a six-figure salary barely covers a shared apartment and basic groceries. The gap between what it costs to live and what jobs actually pay has become a canyon. If you're enjoying this breakdown of the modern economy, please take a moment to follow us and leave a 5-star review. It helps us keep the lights on and continues the conversation on topics that matter to your wallet and your sanity. Now, back to the grind. Why are people walking away? It usually falls into 3 buckets. First, there are the jobs that simply pay below market rates. Businesses are trying to hire senior developers for $50,000 a year, and then they act surprised when nobody applies. Second, we have the toxic workplaces. A recent study found that half of all employees have been exposed to workplace harassment or misconduct. On top of that, the average full-time worker is putting in over 9 hours of unpaid overtime every single week. That is nearly an entire extra day of labor given away for free because of the fear of being fired. When you realize you're working 10 hours a day, including your commute and prep time, just to stay afloat, the math stops making sense. Then there's the third category, the ghost jobs. These are positions that don't even exist. Companies post them to build a database or to satisfy legal requirements, while they have already decided to hire internally. It's no wonder people have given up on the idea that hard work leads to success. They feel disconnected from the fruits of their labor. If you're working at an Amazon fulfillment center, you're just a human placeholder until a robot is cheap enough to replace you. This brings us to the education trap. More people than ever are getting degrees, but the quality of that education is failing to keep up with the real world. Many tech graduates find that what they learned in their freshman year is already obsolete by the time they graduate. So what do? They go back for a master's or a PhD, racking up 6 figures in debt just to avoid a job market that doesn't want them. They're essentially trying to wait out the economy, hoping things will be better in 4 years. But the truth is, if you enter a field just for the money and have no intrinsic interest, you will always be beaten by the person who lives and breathes it. As we look toward the future, we're seeing a speed run into what some call neo-feudalism. Automation is coming for more jobs than we care to admit. Soon, the conversation won't be about how to get people back to work, but how to sustain a society where jobs are no longer the primary way to survive. We might be heading toward a world of universal basic income, not because we want to, but because we have to. To wrap things up, the "nobody wants to work" narrative is a massive oversimplification. People want to work, they just don't want to work demeaning jobs that offer no future. They're tired of the bait and switch of higher education and the toxic culture of unpaid overtime. Whether you're a business owner wondering where the talent went or a worker wondering if it's all worth it, one thing is clear: the old contract is dead. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If this episode gave you a new perspective, share it with a friend who is currently navigating the job hunt. We'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp and keep questioning the status quo.